Global War 36 enthusiast here with Operation Regimental Combat Team, Turn 4.5, Commonwealth. It is January 1938. The Commonwealth has 2 tech rules. First, I tried for radar at a 7 or higher. PB generated a 5, so I failed. Second, I tried for anti-submarine warfare at a 7 or higher. PB generated a 3, so I failed. Let's go to purchases. Great Britain has 16 IPP to spend. I will upgrade 2 militia to infantry for 4, purchase 2 Marines for 8, that's 12, 1 anti-aircraft artillery for 4, that's 16. Oh, I've got one bit of housekeeping. Japan started a major factory and they just need to put on the map where it's being built. One nomenclature is to put 2 of the construction markers underneath it. So for example, if it's being built in Honshu, put that stack with the 2 under construction markers with the major factory on top of it, and then each turn, next turn take off one of the construction markers, and on the third one take off the final construction marker. All right, back to purchases. FEC has 8 IPP to spend, upgrade 2 militia to infantry for 4, 1 anti-aircraft artillery for 4, that's 8. ANZAC has 6 IPP to spend, purchase 1 militia for 2, and 1 infantry for 3, that's 5, save 1 IPP. Previewing the French purchases, they have 15 IPP to spend, 1 militia for 2, 1 infantry for 3, that's 5, 1 anti-aircraft artillery for 4, that's 9, and then I'll lend-lease a mountain infantry to the KMT for 4, that's 15. All right, combat movement. I did reach out to Hambone. I didn't reach out to Sarge's Shellhole. If he does want to declare war on me, that's fine. We'll try to undo everything from the turn, but I don't think Japan wants to do that, especially during Britain's turn. Okay, let's start down here in South Africa. I'm going to have... Sorry, I hate to turn my camera sideways because sometimes it makes my video get posted the other angle. So I just like to keep it sideways the whole time and then it never happens. So from South Africa, the naval transport will leave port to sea zone I-1. It will pick up an infantry and an anti-aircraft artillery from Cape Town. Then it will move 1 to I-3, 2 to I-4, and 3 to I-7, and then drop off an infantry and an anti-aircraft artillery in southern India. From Lower Egypt, this naval transport will leave port to sea zone I-5 and join in the naval maneuvers with the submarines there. Then it will move 3 spaces, 1 to M8. Oh, no, that's not where it's going. 1 to I-4, 2 to I-3, 3 to I-1, and it will go in port in South Africa. That guy does have an in-port marker so that it's off camera. From M8, 2 heavy cruisers and 1 destroyer will move into sea zone I-5, and then, let me see, yeah, and go in port in Lower Egypt on the southern side. There, they will avoid the maneuvers. They don't play with the subs. Let's get that, get an import marker for those guys. Okay, and then this naval task force in M8, which is right here, it's 2 light carriers, 1 with a tactical, 1 with a fighter, 1 heavy cruiser, 1 British light cruiser, 1 ANZAC light cruiser, 4 destroyers, and 1 ANZAC destroyer. They start off in M8 and they will move to M4, then to M2, and into A44. Okay. From Gibraltar, that naval transport is going to leave port. There's going to be the Swaparoo, so I'm just going to leave it there for now. And it will move up to C-Zone A21 and then go in port there in southern England. And from southern England, that naval transport will leave port carrying an infantry and an anti-aircraft artillery. And it will go down to Gibraltar and drop those 2 units off down here in Gibraltar. So that'll bring Gibraltar up to 3 infantry and 2 anti-aircraft artillery. And that was the end of my combat movement. So non-combat movement. From London, 1 of these infantry and 1 anti-aircraft artillery will move to southern England. Wasn't perfectly prepared. Almost. I've been doing pretty good. From southern England, the seaplane is going to fly down to Gibraltar. Oh, from southern England, 1 militia is going to move over to London. All right. And from Gibraltar, the air transport will pick up 1 infantry and fly him over here to Lower Egypt. From C-Zone I-7, this coastal sub will move over to I-4 and join the outcast members of the submarine exercises. The Soviets, the French, and the Italians are having very intense training, and the Japanese and British are just having the minor leagues for training. Okay, and then from South Australia, I'm going to do the strategic naval movement up to C-Zone I-11 and drop off the Anzac infantry and Anzac artillery in Calcutta, and then go in port in Calcutta. Okay, placement of units. So Anzac is going to put an infantry and a militia down in Sydney. FEC is going to upgrade these two militia to infantry. The one in Delhi and the one in southern India. And then it will place, FEC will place an anti-aircraft artillery in Calcutta. Let's do disposition. Well, let's collect some income for those two, and then we'll do disposition for those two. So FEC is at 7. They didn't save any, so they end the turn with 7. Anzac is collecting 5. They saved 1, so they end the turn with 6. Down in Sydney, I already showed you 1 militia, 1 infantry, 1 motorized, and then North and South Island have a militia. In Sarawak is a militia. In Hong Kong is an infantry. In British Malaya, a militia. Ceylon, a militia. C-Zone I-7, naval transport. In Delhi, an FEC infantry. In southern India, an FEC infantry, a British infantry, and a British anti-aircraft artillery. In Calcutta, in port, is an Anzac naval transport. There is a fortification under construction. And then here in Calcutta, there is British infantry, 5 FEC infantry, 2 Anzac infantry, 1 Gurkha, 2 Anzac artillery, 1 British anti-aircraft artillery, 1 FEC anti-aircraft artillery. In C-Zone I-4, 1 British coastal sub. In, I guess I'll just have to do some placement for the British. The anti-aircraft artillery is going to get placed in Cape Town. The militia upgrades, 1 militia upgrade will be here in Western Egypt, and the other militia upgrade will be down here in South Africa. So the disposition down here in South Africa, there's an infantry and a naval transport in port, and then in Cape Town, there's an anti-aircraft artillery. All right. In Lower Egypt, there is 1 militia, 2 infantry, 1 mountain infantry, an air transport, and in port in the southern side of Lower Egypt, 2 heavy cruisers, 1 destroyer. In Malta, 1 militia. In Gibraltar, 1 militia, 2 infantry, 2 anti-aircraft artillery, 1 seaplane. In port, 1 battleship, 2 heavy cruisers, 1 light cruiser, 1 naval transport. In C-Zone A44, 1 British destroyer. You know what, we'll come back because I still got to do the French turn. But here in A44, there is a light carrier with a tactical, a light carrier with a fighter, a heavy cruiser, a British light cruiser, an Anzac light cruiser, 4 British destroyers, 1 Anzac destroyer. I guess there's 5 British destroyers here because there was 1 that started the turn there. Okay, so I think Great Britain, we got to collect income. So Britain is at 16. They did not save any. Oh, I didn't say that I put the 2 Marines go in London. So they end the turn with 16. And I'll do the disposition for them when we do the French as well. Let's do the French. Let's see. I have 1 tech roll. I'll roll for advanced mechanized, and just to spite me, it'll succeed. Yep, it succeeds with an 11. So the French advanced to stage 2 on advanced mechanized. The only ally to have 2 stages. A lot of people are having bad tech luck this game. All right, so I already went over my purchases for France. I don't have any combat movement. So non-combat movement. From Paris, one fighter is going to fly to Normandy. From Aquitaine, 2 infantry, 1 mountain infantry, and 2 motorized move to Normandy. From southern France, 2 infantry and 1 Foreign Legion rail to Normandy. And then from Paris, 1 medium bomber flies down to French Morocco. Okay, got a couple naval moves. From Sea Zone A44, the torpedo boat destroyer will move up 2 spaces to A27. And then from Sea Zone A48, the light cruiser will just move up 1 space to A46. Okay, I think that's it for my movement. Placement of units, I've got 1 militia, 1 infantry, 1 anti-aircraft artillery, I believe. Yep, that's correct. 1 militia, 1 infantry, 1 anti-aircraft artillery will all go in Paris. From Paris, the mountain infantry that's getting Lend-Lease will get built and then move down to southern France, embark. Then it will move over 1 M1, 2 M3, 3 M6, 4 M7, 5 M9, refuel in Syria. Then 1 M9, 2 M8, 3 I5, 4 I4, 5 I3, refuel in Madagascar. 1 to I3, 2 to I4, 3 to I7, 4 to I12, 5 to P50, and go import and coach in China, and then rail to Guangdong. All right, disposition. So I think we were up to, let's go over A46 has a French light cruiser and a destroyer. A44, I already went over the British ships, but there's 2 French destroyers. M1, 2 French naval transports. I5, 4 French subs. Paris, 4 militia, 7 infantry, 1 anti-aircraft artillery. Aquitaine, 3 militia, 1 artillery. Let's see. And then Normandy, 1 Foreign Legion, 1 mountain, 2 motorized, 4 infantry, 1 fighter. Let's see here. Hold on just a second. I'm going to do a little calculation. Yeah, okay, I think that's pretty good. Why don't I just put the Foreign Legion... Maybe I'll just put the Foreign Legion here in Paris. I'll leave it here. I don't think he's going to attack on turn 5. We'll see. Maybe the famous last words, you know. And then we have to go over London, or over this area. Sea Zone A21, 2 submarines, And then there's this naval force of 2 battleships, 1 battle cruiser, 1 coastal defense ship, 2 destroyers, 2 torpedo boat destroyers in southern England, 1 militia, 1 infantry, 1 anti-aircraft artillery, 1 medium bomber, 1 fighter. In London, 1 militia, 1 infantry, 2 marines. In northern England, 1 militia. Next up is Hambone with turn 4.7, Italy.